my friends, Cleo, I have to do a rapid fire recent reads for you because I have quite a few books that I need to go through. So let's dive in. I didn't do a wrap up in October or November. So these books are everything I did physically in the month of October and November. I don't know where my phone is, so I can't tell you what I've read audibly or on ebook, but I'll give you a rundown of some of my recent reads. So here we go. First up we have The Whispering Dark. This was 5-star. This was a meg rec. I was surprised it was 5-star as a meg rec. Absolutely not. Also, whilst I'm on a meg rec, Juniper and Thorn we read for the podcast. It was great. That was also 5 stars. So we're on a roll. This, I'm not going to tell you what all of these are about because it will take forever, but there is a death rep in this and it's stunning and that's all you need to know. It's gothic hair and eerie and outside of my comfort zone, but absolutely brilliant. Next up, I read Assassin's Blade, Cloud of Midnight and Air of Fire. Not in that order. It was Cloud of Midnight, Assassin's Blade, Air of Fire. I read all these and I gave them all 5 stars. They were all amazing. I do have spoiler-filled vlogs for all of these, so I'm not going to tell you any information about this other than they're part of the Throne of Glass series, and I'm probably one of the last people to ever read this series. But there we go. Next up we had the last of the Bar the Angel Along books, which was Chain of Thorns, and I'm so sad that Bar the Angel Along is finished. And I loved this book so much. I'm going to reread this series. It hurt, it was fun, it was everything you expect from a Cassie Clare book, and it makes me even more excited to read Swordcatcher. But yeah, we are now at the end of By the Angel Along. We're no longer reading these books. But thank you very much, Becca, for hosting such an amazing read along and helping me get through so many series. Like, the amount of series I've finished just by this one author through the time that we did By the Angel Along is absolutely crazy. Like, I never would have done that by myself. Next up, we have Illuminate and Gemina. I've literally just finished Gemina in the past couple of weeks. We've had the live show recently. These two were both 5 stars. Oh my Jesus, did they break me. We are doing the Christopher Long, if you don't know. Me and Chloe are running the Christopher Long, and we will be reading Obsidio, and then Empire of Vampire, and then Empire of the Damned. And yeah, so I loved the sci-fi element, I loved the mixed media, I loved the audiobook, I loved everything about this series. The relationships, the banter, characters, everything. Just the whole package. The 5 stars. I had so many 5 stars, as you can tell. And moving on to manga. So, Blackguard. Do we know who inspired this read? This was 5 stars. You'll know what this is about, but if you, I'd say it was a trigger warning, but this guy basically, he doesn't want to commit suicide, but he doesn't care if he dies or not. He's kind of morbid, so just be careful about that going in if that's something that you think might trigger you, but it's really good. I gave this 5 stars. Mashal! This, it looks very HP-esque, but it's, if you want a bit of that kind of flavour without the turf author, got this in spades. The humour, so funny, and he lives in a world of magic, but he is just like super strong. So it's crazy. This one wasn't a 5 star. It was like a 3.5, but. And I'm not, obviously, as you're well aware of my reading taste, I'm not against smut, like, or anything like that. But I did not know this going in. I did not check what this was going in. and it arrived wrapped. That should have twigged in Dad's brain. But then I look on the back and it says Warren Parent Advisory. After I started reading it, I just saw a full sausage and an apple, and it was like, whoa, okay, so yeah, this is mature, it says on the back. Didn't even clock, but it was actually really good, and I did really enjoy it, and I will be continuing with the series. Next up we have Love Theoretically. I gave this 4 stars. This was really good. It wasn't as good as the other books that I've read by Ali Hazelwood, and I just feel like it was, it's not heavier, I don't know why, there was just a vibe that I didn't pick up of this, that I picked up of the other ones, and I just felt like it didn't grab me as much, but it was still 4 stars, still really good. So I read Illuminate, I read Illuminate, It Ends With Us, and like Assassin's Blade really close together, and I was absolutely exhausted with all the trauma. So I read Hook, Line and Sinker, and it happened all summer, obviously the other way around. It happened all summer, then Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, and these made me feel good. These were rereads, and all I can say is just Shemaze balls. Just fishermen, dangerous fishermen, grumpy sunshine, is assumed to be a fuckboy, and she's like, I don't know what this is. Forced proximity? Forced proximity. Grumpy sunshine, forced proximity. This broke me so much, but I loved it. Thank you very much, Chloe, for Chloe Reads Books, for putting this on my radar. You bought it me, you put it on my 12 books, 12 prompts, and I know that there's a lot of controversy around Colleen Hoover, what she said, what she's done. I'm just reviewing the book as it is as a book, and I really loved it. There were some things in here that did trigger me and make me cry because I didn't see it coming, but it didn't put me off reading it. It was more of like a cathartic cry. So I would recommend looking up the trigger warnings, content warnings before going into this, but if you can deal with the kind of content that this discusses, you know, domestic violence, essay, things like that, please pick this up. It is really good. So, it's all about fantasy. Woo. It's all about fantasy. We read this, No Place for Peace and Where Heroes Are Born. This is part of the Pillars of Peace series by Tom Dumbrell. These are both, one was 3 stars, one was 3.5 stars, and I really enjoyed this. These were very small, like very small, compared to what I'm usually used to reading in fantasy. These are more, I would call these quieter fantasies. There's no massive, epic, you know, dragon wars and, you know, craziness going on. There's still like tension and, you know, conflict, but it is very different to sort of like an epic high fantasy. I would refer to these probably as more of a quieter fantasy, and it surprised me how much I enjoyed these, because normally I like a little bit of magic in my fantasies, and this was very much not a magic-y fantasy. Next up we have a Smut Central. We have Desperate Measures, Learn My Lesson, whoop, and Court of the Vampire Queen. If you're looking for smut with plot, then some plot, then these are more your kind of thing. If you're looking at smut with very little plot, but like a smidge, then this is more your thing. Either way, Spice Level 4, Spice Level 5, Desperate Measures has a daddy kink, so if you don't like that thing, that might not be for you. I'd check what the contents are for each of these, but for me, for most people, they couldn't get through the audio of Desperate Measures. His voice is cringy, not gonna lie, but I couldn't stop listening to it. I listened to all these on audiobook, and I have no shame. Another 5 stars. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. Red Rising. I am just aghast. I don't know why I haven't picked this up before. I am just words. Also, Darrow's 16. He's a child. When people talk about him being like really like about his behaviour and what he does in his decision making and stuff like that, like, he's a kid that's been through trauma. He's not an adult. Like, even it's bad enough as an adult, but as a kid, it's just like I really need to continue with the series, and I will be doing at some point. The Raven Cycle. I started the Raven Cycle. I got the Raven Boys, Dream Thieves, both 5 stars. I've had so many good 5 stars this year. So many good 5 stars. These are new faves. New faves. Also, Adam is cute. Noah is adorable. Ronan is traumatized. And Gansey is just Gansey. Finally, for the physical, we have the Paw Bears Club. 5 stars again. This wasn't one that I would normally pick up outside my comfort zone. It was when Chloe was on the podcast, and I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I loved this. So those are all the physical books I've read. I have read a couple of ebooks. I've read Death Rider by Zamil Akhtar. I've read In the Love by Melissa Bobet. I've read Manticore Park by Quenby Olsen. They were all novellas for the Sphinx competition that I'm judging. I read Legacy of the Brightwash by Crystal Matar on audio and ebook, and oh my days, that book just slaughtered me, ravaged my heart. Was 5 stars, obviously. So was Quenby Olsen. Zamil Akhtar's was 3.5. I've also read A Study in Drowning, top tier, 5 stars. Well, yet again, I want to pick up more Ever Read. If you have any recommendations, I know they brought out Wolf and the Woodsman. I'm going to keep a lookout for more of their books, because top tier, absolute top tier. And then the back end of the year, back end of the month, I did read Fix Her Up, Love Her or Lose Her, Tools of Engagement. What was the next one? Secretly Yours and Unfortunately Yours. And I read them all. I think I've actually got one of those in physical as well. But I read them all. And so now we know. So now we know, because I'm really sure that I thought I had one. I thought I had some of those physical copies. I need to find it. Gave most of them 5 stars. I gave the last 2 4 stars. I think I just Tessa Bailey myself out because I read them consecutively, like 5 Tessa Bailey books in a row. And I just realised I also read Tessa Bailey back in October. So I've now read 7 Tessa Bailey books in 2 months. Well, can't say I'm not thorough at reading the backlist now, can we? But if I've missed out any books, I do apologise. I don't have my phone on me to read from. But I had so many 5 stars, so many good reads, so many entertaining moments, so much fun. And it's just really been great. I've listened to most of these, as well as like sometimes I've physically read them as well. And it's just helped me when I've been feeling the way I've been feeling recently, to just dive into a whole new world. A whole new world. But yeah, that's it from me. I need to go put these books back. If you do like me and you want to see more of me, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're here and you want to let me know you're here, if you don't have anything to say, please do black hearts, very much appreciated. And until next time, hope you all have an amazing Christmas if you celebrate, and if not, just enjoy the holidays and break from work. And we'll see you all very soon.